Hello, and thank you for joining me. In today's video, I am actually going to do several different little projects that I need to complete some projects that I have in mind for the future. Now, some of these projects you may be able to guess as I'm doing them. Some maybe not so much so. So if you have any guesses, put that information in the comments below. Now, before I get started, I have some exciting news. As of today, I was approved to be an affiliate for Let's Resin. Now, I know you've probably watched some videos to where it does say that in the, like at the top of the screen, but what I do normally is I have several videos banked up. So these videos before this one were already banked up, but as of today, I was actually approved for their affiliate program. And if you watch my videos, you know how much I love Let's Resin. So I'm excited about that, and I will put that link below. So let's talk a little bit about what I want to do here. I want to pour these two pink hearts, and I want to use the magenta glow in the dark, and that is Let's Resin because I use a lot of it. I'm also going to use some green, the green glow in the dark, and I want to do that for these two circles. The blue glow in the dark, I want to do it for like these two teardrops and these two little round things, and possibly even a skull. Now the skulls I want to pour because I want to make some more of those, the floating glow in the dark skulls that's in the sphere. If you watch that video, you know what I'm talking about. I will put a link to that video in the description box below, as well as in my pinned comments. So let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and start with the blue. Oh, I also do want to mention I am going to pour another dragon and the chameleon flakes in here. And that again is the Let's Resin chameleon flakes. And I decided to try the violet. I went ahead and brushed that in because it's a bit messy and I want to kind of get that done and clean the mess up. I had a dragon that I had poured with the green. Unfortunately, I broke the tail, and it's so little and so fine that I just don't know that I could attach it without it looking like the tail got broken and I glued it back on. So I need a dragon for an upcoming, or more than one possibly, for an upcoming project. But let me go ahead and get started with the blue. And I already have some resin mixed, and I'm not sure if this is going to be enough for what I need to pour. If not, I'll mix a little bit more. So let me put, whoa, that was a little bit more than I had planned. I was going to do one, but that's more like two. Let me give it a stir, and if I think I need to add more mica, more of the pigment, I will. If I think I need to add more of the resin, I will. Yeah, it's pretty dark. But I don't know. That may work well. Let me add just a little more resin just to be safe. I want it kind of not quite that dark. Add a little more resin to that and give it a stir. And see if I can't carefully pour it into these little molds here. I think I'm going to start by pouring just a little bit into the skull, simply because it'll be easier to work with this cup if it's not too full. And that'll give that a chance to set and hopefully degas. And if I have enough, I may pour two. So let me see if I can pour this in here without overflowing. These are small. And this is like the little teardrop shape. All right, I think I want to use my little popsicle stick and put a little bit more in here. Want to make sure they're domed. Okay. And yeah, it looks like I may have enough to do 2 skulls. Let me put a little bit in there. And a little bit in there. And all of these things that I'm working on today, they are for mostly upcoming projects. Now the glow in the dark skull and the sphere, I probably won't video that simply because I've already done that video, but I wanted to prepare some and have them ready for my Etsy store or my Etsy shop, and I will put a link to that shop in the description box below. Let me give it some really good squeezes by the jawbones. And yeah, I believe I may have enough to do 2. Or maybe wait and see if I can't combine all the colors, if I have enough glow in the dark into one. It looks like it can handle a little bit more. Stop there. I'm going to carefully set this down over here and make sure I don't knock it over. Excuse me. All right, there's that. Now let me go ahead and mix up a little fuchsia alongside. And this is just a little bit, so I'm hoping not to be too heavy-handed with it. Come on. Well, you know what, you guys, it won't come out because I've never used this, I guess. I thought I had. No, this is magenta. That's why. It's not fuchsia, it's magenta. So let me see if I can get this open real fast. It's the fuchsia I used when I was testing the glow in the dark, not the magenta. All right, now it should come there. Make sure I have that lid on real good. And try this again. Wow, that is pink. Real pink. But it's pretty. And I did get some on my board. I'll need to wipe that off. But that should be enough for these 2 little hearts, I think. You know what? I'm just going to put a little more in there just in case. And I think I want... No, I think that's pink enough. But I'm going to add just a little more resin to that as well. Just a little bit. Because I hope to have a little clear left over for another item I want to coat. Well, that is a pretty pink. All right, let's let it degas a little bit. And while that's doing that, let me get this big mess up. That is pretty. Look how pink that is. Let me clean off this spoon for the next thing. All right, let me see if I can get this. Hopefully it's enough. It should be. These hearts are pretty tiny. And again, anything left over, I may just actually mix all of it, all of the glow in the dark, into one skull. All right, let me set that down and we'll get some green mixed up. And I just want a little bit of green. Again, I hope that's enough. I'm going to add a little more resin to that because if I have enough left over, I'll just mix it into skulls. I don't know what I'll get, but part of the fun of resin is actually experimenting just to see how things turn out. And I want to do, I think I want to do these. No, I want to do these instead. A little heavy-handed there. All right. So yeah, I just have a little bit of the green left over, but I have it left over. So I'm going to pour some blue. Some magenta. And this is just experimental. Because when I did the large glow-in-the-dark skull, I actually let each layer kind of cure before I put another layer in. And let me get all of that green in there because there's really not a whole bunch of it. All right. Add a little more blue. Oh, well, I meant to do some polka dots too, so I may have some left over to do that. Before I go any further, I want to go ahead and first wipe this off. Give it some squeezes. In a minute, I'll move some of this stuff out of your way. Finish off the magenta, and then if we need to dome it, we'll dome it with blue. And we'll just see what we end up with on this one. It may just be a muddy, brownish looking mess. Don't know. Okay, let me set that aside. Let me finish it off with blue. Get a dome on there. Okay, let me set this aside now. Put those over there. Clean up this mess. I want to clean this little cup out because I need to use it for some black. All right, I am going to set this over here and try not to knock those skulls off. Done that before. And now let's work on this. And I want to actually, I have some resin here, and this is my cup that I reuse until I can't. And this is the Let's Resin Black Epoxy Resin Pigment Paste. And this only takes like a teeny tiny drop. Barely anything. So let's see if I can get that to drop out for me just barely. That's all I'm going to put in there. It's just a little tiny bit. I don't have a bunch of resin in here, so I'm thinking that should be enough. But if not, I will mix a little more in there. See, it really doesn't take a whole bunch. Let me get that good and mixed and see what we got. I mean, if you look in the cup, it looks really dark, but that's because it's still a little translucent. I'm going to add a little bit more. It looks dark in the cup because the cup's been used before. So let me see if I can add just one more little drop in here. Oops, it did not come out. There we go. Let's get that good and stirred. And I think this will be enough for the dragon. But if not, again, I do have, see, yeah, that's much darker now. But I do want to use this little cup simply because it's easier for me to control. Put a little bit in there to start with. And if I need more, I have some. All right. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see what this violet looks like. I love the chameleon flakes. Absolutely love them. Try and get it down in there without overflowing. And I know I'll need a little bit more. I just want to get it started. Let me grab my little tool so I can work around that tail. Oops, slow down. Let me pour a little bit more over here. I need for it to flow into the tail. Push that up into all these little details. I love this little dragon mold. I would like to find another one. And this was gifted to me, and when I first got it, I thought I will never use that mold. It's so little and everything. But it has quickly become one of my favorites. All right, I'm going to pour a little down here and see if I can't help it into the tail. And for that, I just want to carefully just kind of pull the tail out a little bit, or get my tool in there without scratching or nicking the mica or the chameleon flakes. I'm sorry. All right, let me wipe that off and take care of a thing or two here. And it looks like I could use a little bit more. Let me see if I can get this to work, and try not to put my hand in your way too much. A little bit more up here. I want it to dome without overflowing. It looks like I maybe can use a little, just a tiny bit down here. All right, let's see here. That looks pretty good to me. I say that, and I want to make sure I have enough in this tail. I think I do. That looks pretty good to me, so let me set that down. And let me fix this by the tail. I don't want to have to do any trimming on this little thing. Let me give it a wipe. And then I have one other item that I haven't shown you yet that I want to work on today. It's definitely non-traditional. That would be some crackers. And I hope that I can actually dip them down in here and get them back out without too much of a problem. We're getting ready to find out. Let me get my tweezers. I just really didn't have my stuff ready, did I, y'all? Let's see if I can't dip that in there. And grab it. Excuse me. Let some of that drain off. And what I'll do when I put these crackers down is I will definitely have to watch for bubbles. But then in about 20 to 30 minutes, I will actually move them from one place of them on the mat to another, because I know that some of this resin will pull up underneath it. Let me try one of these. Kind of like what I did with the clouds. See if I can get this out without breaking the cracker. But yeah, with the clouds, I let them set for 20 or 30 minutes and then moved them from one place to the mat to another place. And I did that a couple of times, just simply because I want them coated in resin, but I don't want them in a pool of it. Okay, let's do a few more as long as I have resin and I can get these done. That would be great. And like anything else, if I have extra after doing the project I have planned for these, then I can put them aside and use them in future projects. Oh, I don't want to break the crackers though. Oh, this one is not cooperating, y'all. It doesn't want to come out. There we go. And I'll probably have to get another mat out just to be able to see. Here's where you need to watch. There's like bubbles in those little holes. And I'll probably have to get another mat out just to move these crackers around. This mat's getting pretty full. Fishing for crackers. So those are the projects that, and I guess, I mean, I don't have a title for the video. Projects for projects, I'm not too sure. But these are the projects I'm working on, and they're all a part, or going to be a part, of future projects. They're just things that I'm going to need for future projects. But I will meet you. I'm going to finish the crackers. You've seen me do enough of them. I don't think you want to watch me just continually dip crackers. So what I will do is, again, once I get the crackers done, I will move them every 20 minutes or so, and I will see you for the unmolding. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you shortly. So it's time for the unmolding, and I'm just going to start with these small ones first. Let me see if I can pop these two little ones out without disturbing the other ones. Those are, as you can tell, a little set of eyes. Alrighty, let me go ahead and pop these other ones out. And then move this mold out of the way. So what I hope to be able to do is actually take these and bond them together, if that's possible, for the project that I'm thinking of. It looks like I may have to trim this one a little bit, but I may or may not be able to bond them together. And they may or may not work in the project, but we'll find out. Let me set those down. And same with these cute little blue teardrop looking things. All right, let's go ahead and do the blue skull first. I am real curious about the skull that was done in the different colored glow in the darks and what that violet's going to look like on the dragon. Let me go ahead and get this out. And this is just the blue glow in the dark. I'm going to try and get it out without throwing it. There we go. And wonderful, there's no bubbles in the cheekbones. And this is one that I do want to suspend in a sphere. So it's like a floating skull. And that will be for my Etsy shop. Now let's check out this one. This one I'm curious about. I mean, it may just be a hot mess simply because I just poured a bunch of leftovers. But I like to experiment just to see. Oh, no, actually, look at that. That is cool. That may look pretty cool suspended as well. I have to charge it, put it underneath the dark, in the dark, and come back here and let you see what that looks like in the dark. All right, let's go ahead and carefully unmold the dragon. Don't want to break anything. And the dragon, especially the tail, is very fragile. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if you can see how pretty that violet is. And the wonderful thing about the chameleon flakes is it shifts colors, which is really cool. That one is pretty. I can't wait to use that in a project. Now the crackers. And let me tell you, when you move the when you dip the crackers and move them from place to place, oh, that came right off. That left a sticky, sticky, sticky mess both times. No fun to clean up. Trying to carefully get these off because I don't want to break my crackers. I did break one dipping it. And I mean, this side's real shiny. And even though this side is flat, it's not shiny. It is coated. You can feel the coating. It's just because it was against the mat. This one has some Humpty Doos, but that's no big deal either. If I'm going to put it in resin, ideally, other than the fact that I may get bubbles there, that shouldn't matter. Let's see if we can get the other crackers up. That one up, yeah. And I'll show you this one. This one is the one I broke it trying to get it up, and there is a bubble in there too. Yeah, I broke that one, so that one I can't use. Is that all the crackers? Okay, that's all the crackers. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I'm going to charge this little one. I'll charge them both, but I like the way that one turned out. It's a real pleasant surprise. I'm going to charge it, stick it in the dark, give you a peek see, and I'll be right back. There they are, y'all. I love that multicolored one. That's just a happy little accident. There they are, glowing in the dark. You gotta let me know what you think. You can tell I did go ahead and before putting them in the dark, I decided to go ahead and use some of the Let's Resin Black UV to highlight the details in the eyes and the nose socket. And then I used some black acrylic to just paint over the teeth area and then wipe it off with a dry cloth. I just like those extra details. But what did you think of them, especially this multicolored one? I know you've seen just the solid ones before. Do you think I should suspend this in a sphere? Let me know in the comments below. I do want to thank you for watching, and please consider hitting the like, subscribe, and share buttons, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.